Cardi, para Univision, algo rápido que nos quieras contar. Para Univision.
Feel like pretty good?
Cardi, can you please sign?
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te
Cardi,
fue el
please
día de
sign?
hoy?
Cardi,
¿Cómo te fue?
Yeah.
That one is cool, right?
It's great to see you. You're awesome.
Cardi, ¿cómo está todo?
Follow them. You know why I don't follow them? I'm gonna tell y'all why I don't follow them. They had said something about me and I like responded to them, and then you know what they told me? I hope your daughter gonna grow up to be a hoe like you. They said that about my
get married and still get cheated on. Y'all think, oh, marriage is the privilege. People are married right now and are getting cheated on right now. People get married and have double lives. What are y'all talking about? Y'all think marriage is so, oh my God. I'd rather be single than to be married to someone that's cheating on me. Like, y'all have this perspective of life. It's so effed up. People are married right now and are very unhappy. Like, I'd rather be single and explore life than to be married and be miserable and someone is cheating on me. Y'all think, but you're married and get alimony. What the do you think I give a fuck about alimony? I want a faithful husband.
Y'all, because I know y'all like to tussle, but we all saw what we saw when Cardi walked out the courtroom, right? In that white outfit. We all saw the same thing. Now, the question is, whose is it? That is the real gag.
Cardi B just can't seem to escape the drama. And this time it's messier than ever. Stefon Diggs' baby mama, Lord Giselle, has just dropped a bombshell. Not only is she pregnant again, but she's clowning Cardi for allegedly being one of several women carrying Stefon's babies at the same time. And as if that wasn't chaotic enough, Offset has now jumped in, making the whole situation even uglier. What started with whispers of a baby bump has spiraled into a full-blown scandal of overlapping pregnancies, shady court appearances, and messy social media clapbacks. Trust me, this one's about to get real wild. Y'all, the streets are on fire right now because Cardi B is caught up in one of the messiest baby dramas we've seen in a while. Word on the curb is that Cardi is pregnant again, but here's the gag. The alleged father isn't Offset. Nope. The man at the center of it all is none other than NFL star Stefon Diggs. And if that wasn't enough to make your jaw drop, Stefon's baby mama, Lord Giselle, just came forward with her own bombshell. She claims she's pregnant by Stefon too, and she's clowning Cardi for allegedly being one of several women carrying his babies at the same time. Yes, you heard that right. Not one, not two, but multiple women, all rumored to be pregnant by the same man. Now, this is already giving reality TV levels of chaos, but you know the story wouldn't be complete without Offset inserting himself. Because apparently, the second Cardi makes a move without him, Offset starts spiraling. And let's just say he's already been dropping shady comments, posting subliminals, and doing everything in his power to make sure the spotlight doesn't stay on Cardi and Stefon for too long. So right now, we've got a full-blown love triangle, or maybe even a love square, with Cardi at the center. On one side, you've got Stefon Diggs, who is publicly claiming her as his boo while still juggling other women. On another side, you've got Lord Giselle, the bitter baby mama who refuses to let Cardi enjoy even a moment of peace. And lurking in the background, Offset, the ex who can't seem to move on, who might even be sabotaging this whole thing from the inside. This is the kind of messy that keeps on unraveling. And trust me, the deeper we go, the wilder it gets. Because this isn't just about Cardi possibly being pregnant. This is about her stepping into a whole storm of overlapping relationships, clashing baby mamas, and an ex-husband who refuses to let her shine without him. Now, before Lord Giselle even opened her mouth, fans had already been piecing this puzzle together. Cardi's been clapping back at pregnancy rumors for months, but the internet does not miss a thing. And this time, her own moves gave her away. It all started when people noticed Cardi stepping out in clothes that just didn't feel like Cardi. We all know she loves a skin-tight fit, the kind of outfits that hug every curve and scream confidence. But lately, baggy sweats, oversized jackets, and loose blazers. And while she tried to play it off like just a fashion choice, the streets knew better. Cardi doesn't cover up unless she's covering something. The speculation really hit a fever pitch when Cardi showed up to court. Now, Cardi in court is practically its own runway show. she usually eats down with looks that get reposted all over Twitter and Instagram. But this time was different. Instead of the usual body-hugging gowns or tailored pieces, she came in swimming in an oversized white suit. Fans were immediately like, hold up, why Cardi dressing like she's trying to hide something? And then came the moment that broke the internet. Video of Cardi leaving the courthouse. She was walking down the steps, and people swear she had that unmistakable pregnancy waddle. Not only that, but you could actually see what looked like a small bump under the loose fabric of her jacket. The clip spread like wildfire, with fans freeze-framing, zooming in, and debating in the comments like it was a crime scene investigation. Some people were convinced it was just a bad angle, but others said there was no denying it. Cardi looked like she was already well into her pregnancy. And because this is Cardi, everything she does gets dissected. Fans went back, pulling old pictures, screenshots from her live streams, and even paparazzi shots, comparing her face and body over the past few weeks. She's glowing, some said. Her nose looks different, others pointed out. For fans who followed her through past pregnancies, the signs were all too familiar. They didn't need an official announcement. Cardi's body language and wardrobe told the story loud and clear. Of course, Cardi wasn't making it easy for herself either. Every time someone brought up the rumors, she got defensive. She jumped online, clapping back at people, calling out fans for being nosy and swearing up and down that they were wrong. But the more she denied it, the harder the internet pushed back. Because one thing the public knows, a baby bump can only stay hidden for so long. So by the time Giselle jumped on live to clown her, fans were already primed and ready. They'd seen the videos, the baggy fits, the waddling, the glow. All Giselle had to do was confirm what everyone was whispering about. And suddenly, Cardi's rumored pregnancy wasn't just fan speculation anymore. It was full-blown tea. Once those videos of Cardi leaving court went viral, that's when Lord Giselle lost it. And baby, she did not hold back. Because from her point of view, this whole situation is a slap in the face. See, Giselle already has a child with Stefon, but instead of being treated like a proud baby mama, she says she was dragged through the mud. Fans shamed her, his supporters clowned her, and Stefon himself barely claimed her publicly. Meanwhile, here comes Cardi, not only getting publicly shown off by Stefon, but allegedly carrying his next child while being hyped up and protected. To Giselle, that was the ultimate double standard. And the way she chose to deal with it? Straight up clowning Cardi. Giselle hit social media live and started throwing shade left and right. She wasn't even subtle anymore. In one clip, she basically told her followers that being married or having a ring doesn't protect anyone from infidelity. She went off, saying people think marriage is some kind of shield, but in reality, people get married every day and still get cheated on. That was a clear dig at Cardi, who had to endure Offset publicly embarrassing her for years while they were married. Giselle made it even messier by adding that she'd rather be single than miserable in a relationship with a cheating man. She doubled down, saying no amount of alimony or status was worth being lied to and humiliated. Now, to the casual listener, that might sound like general advice, but fans instantly clocked that she was talking directly about Cardi. The subtext was loud. Cardi thought she leveled up by moving on from Offset to Stefon, but from where Giselle is sitting, she's just repeating the same cycle with another serial cheater. But the shade didn't stop there. Giselle's been throwing little subs for months, posting cryptic quotes, liking shady comments, and hinting that certain fan bases were targeting her online. She even revealed that people sent her nasty messages about her baby, calling her names, and dragging her child into the drama. And while she didn't outright accuse Cardi's fans, she made it clear she felt the hate was coming from that direction. For Giselle, this wasn't just about Stefon. It was about the way the world seemed to celebrate Cardi for something she herself was crucified for. And that's what fueled her anger when Cardi's baby bump rumors started spreading. To Giselle, Cardi wasn't some victim or some fairy tale upgrade. She was just another woman falling for Stefon's games just like she had. And instead of keeping it cute and quiet, Giselle decided to be the one to break the fourth wall and tell the world exactly how messy it really was. At that point, Giselle wasn't playing the role of a scorned ex. She'd taken on the role of narrator, giving her side of the story, exposing Stefon, and dragging Cardi down with him. Whether people saw her as bitter or brutally honest didn't matter. In her mind, she wasn't going to let Cardi enjoy her moment without reminding everyone that behind the glitz, glam, and public claims, Stefon Diggs was still the same man who denied her, disrespected her, and moved on without a second thought. And the more Giselle ranted, the more it fueled the narrative that this wasn't just about Cardi and Stefon being in love. This was about the messy overlap between exes, baby mamas, and public image. And Giselle, bitter or not, had just made herself the loudest critic in the room. Now here's the part where things get really hard to ignore, because this drama isn't just about Cardi versus Giselle. The real common denominator is Stefon Diggs, and his track record with women is straight up messy. Let's start with the basics. Stefon's already a father, and everybody knows he's been linked to Lord Giselle for years. But behind the scenes, his roster has been out of control. For months, blogs have been whispering that Stefon doesn't just have one baby mama drama. He's got multiple women allegedly pregnant by him at the same time. Some even claim he might be expecting twins with one of them, while juggling pregnancies with two others. If that sounds unbelievable, wait until you see the receipts. Because that's where Sky comes in, another woman who popped up with her own tea about Stefon. Sky dropped screenshots of text messages that she claimed were from Stefon, where he was still sliding in her phone, making plans, and keeping their situationship alive, all while he was out here parading Cardi around in public. Not only that, but she posted photos of them together, proving this wasn't some random clout-chasing story. She had actual proof that Stefon was very much still entertaining her, even as the Cardi rumors heated up. And if you've been following Stefon for a while, none of this should come as a shock. His reputation with women has always been clouded by stories of cheating, sneaky links, and juggling multiple relationships at once. Every time one woman tries to hold him down, another pops up with a new story, a new baby, or a new receipt. It's like clockwork at this point. That's why fans aren't buying the idea that Giselle is just bitter. When you zoom out, you see a clear pattern. Stefon publicly claims one woman, while quietly entertaining others. He downplays certain baby mamas while glorifying whoever he's currently using as his image booster. And when it comes to accountability, he stays silent, letting the women fight each other while his name keeps trending. And now, with Cardi allegedly in the mix, it looks like history is repeating itself. She might be the one getting flaunted right now, but if you ask his exes and even his side chicks with screenshots, that spotlight doesn't last long. Stefon Diggs has built a whole reputation on messy overlaps, broken promises, and keeping multiple women tied to him at once. So whether Cardi's pregnant or not, whether Giselle is bitter or not, one thing is crystal clear. Stefon Diggs is the common thread in all this drama. And if his past behavior is any indication, this situation is only going to get more chaotic from here. Just when you think the drama couldn't get any messier, here comes Offset. Because of course he couldn't resist inserting himself into the middle of it all. And honestly, the way he's moving is giving bitter ex-husband energy, mixed with just a sprinkle of obsession. Let's start with the leaks. Rumors started swirling that Offset was the one who slid Cardi and Stefon's private text straight into the hands of DJ Academics. And you already know Academics wasted no time flashing those receipts on stream, fanning the flames, and making sure the story went viral. The timing was just too convenient. Every time Cardi's name started trending in a positive way with Stefon, something shady would leak that made her look messy. And the streets couldn't help but side-eye Offset, because who else had both the access and the motive to sabotage her? Then came the subliminals. Offset started dropping cryptic posts online, the type of stuff that could easily be brushed off as general, but everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. Tweets about loyalty, about women moving funny, about people chasing clout. He even threw in a couple of "be careful who you have kids" with bars that fans instantly connected to the pregnancy rumors. It was like he was watching Cardi's every move and shading her without ever saying her name. But the pettiest part? Offset couldn't resist clowning the alleged baby's paternity. In private convos that somehow made their way online, he was allegedly calling Cardi stupid for getting caught up with Stefon, hinting that the baby might not even be his, and basically trying to paint her as reckless. which is rich coming from a man who embarrassed Cardi for years with his own cheating scandals. The irony is not lost on anybody. And here's the kicker. While Offset was busy clowning Cardi in public, behind the scenes he was allegedly still thirsting for her. Multiple blogs claimed he's been texting her late at night, trying to slide back in, and even popping up at her shows just to check on her. So on one hand, he's shading her for moving on, but on the other hand, he clearly can't stand the thought of her being happy without him. That's not just messy, that's peak Offset. All of this is what turned a love triangle into a full-blown square. You've got Cardi trying to move forward with Stefon juggling multiple women and baby mamas, Giselle out here throwing shade and exposing him, and then Offset lurking in the background, pulling strings and trying to make sure he's still part of the story. It's not just drama at this point, it's a circus. And the crazy part? Nobody seems to be winning. Because if Offset's goal was to make Cardi look bad, it backfired. He just looks pressed. If Stefon wanted to show off his new romance, now it looks like he can't control his roster. And Cardi? She's stuck in the middle of two men with reputations for cheating, while her own pregnancy status is still the internet's biggest mystery. Now, the internet being the internet, you already know the fans had a lot to say about all of this. And honestly, the commentary has been just as messy as the situation itself. The biggest drag people are throwing at Cardi is the irony of it all, because for years, she's been very vocal about being a wife, about having a husband, and about how certain women were beneath her for having kids out of wedlock. Cardi would clown other women online, throwing shade about being a baby mama without a ring, proudly pointing to her marriage with Offset as proof that she had done things the right way. But now, the tables have turned. Offset is out of the picture, and she's allegedly pregnant by Stefon Diggs, a man with his own messy baby mama lineup and zero signs of commitment. Fans wasted no time pointing out the hypocrisy. Twitter threads started blowing up with people posting old Cardi clips side by side with the current rumors. In one clip, she's bragging about her marriage. In the next tweet, people are asking if she's about to become baby mama number 4. Memes are flying everywhere. Pictures of Cardi with captions like, "Not you clowning the baby mamas just to become one." The internet has no mercy, and right now, it feels like they're enjoying the karma more than the tea itself. Another layer fans keep harping on is the pattern in her love life. They're saying Cardi went from one messy cheater to another, like she traded Offset scandals for Stefon's chaos. Some even argue she might be addicted to the drama, that Cardi can't help but pick men with baggage because it keeps her in the spotlight. And while that might sound harsh, it's definitely a narrative that's picking up steam online. And then there's the gender double standard conversation. Some fans are defending Cardi, saying women always get dragged harder in these situations than the men. Because let's be real, Stefon is the one out here juggling women, possibly getting multiple people pregnant at once, and yet Cardi's the one being dragged for her choices. Offset embarrassed her for years, but somehow she's the one being labeled as reckless now that she's moved on. For some, this whole saga is just another example of how women, especially women in hip-hop, are held to a different standard than their male counterparts. But whether you see Cardi as a victim of double standards or a victim of her own decisions, one thing is clear. The court of public opinion is not letting her off easy. Every outfit, every live stream, every shady post, the fans are dissecting it like a case file, waiting to see if she'll prove them right or wrong. And in the meantime, the bigger conversation isn't just about who's pregnant or who's cheating. It's about reputation, legacy, and whether Cardi can survive the same narratives she once used to tear down other women. Because right now, the gossip isn't just about Cardi's personal life. It's about how quickly the internet will flip on you when your reality starts looking like the very thing you used to mock. And that, more than anything, is what makes this mess sting the most. So here we are. Cardi B, one of the biggest rappers in the game, is now tangled in one of the messiest situations of her career. On one side, she's got Lord Giselle, the bitter baby mama who refuses to stay quiet, exposing Stefon and dragging Cardi every chance she gets. On the other side, she's got Offset, the ex-husband who embarrassed her for years, now allegedly leaking her private texts, throwing subliminals, and still trying to control the narrative. And right in the middle of it all, Stefon Diggs himself, the flashy NFL star with a reputation for juggling women, rumored to have multiple babies on the way, and a pattern of drama that never seems to end. The crazy part is, nobody really knows how this is going to play out. Will Cardi step up and confirm the pregnancy? Will Giselle keep spilling more tea? Will Stefon finally speak out and claim his side of the story? Or will Offset keep stirring the pot until he pulls Cardi back into his orbit? What's clear is this: the story is far from over. Because as long as there are questions about paternity, secret receipts waiting to leak, and bitter exes lurking online, the drama is only going to get bigger. And with Cardi's name attached, you know the blogs, the fans, and the shade rooms are going to eat up every single update. So the real question is, what do y'all think? Is Cardi just caught up in bad luck with messy men? Or is she choosing chaos by stepping into Stefon Diggs' world? And when it's all said and done, who's really going to come out on top in this love square? Drop your thoughts because, baby, this tea is just getting started.